Brian in Hampstead didn't like it. If you've heard Brian in Hampstead before, you'll know why. But let's hear him again. Go ahead, Brian.
Good evening, George.
Hi.
Well, I think, if you try to extract or sort of dissuade people to listen to the hyperbole, what Mr. Ahmadinejad has said is really designed for Western consumption. He wants to appear in a good light. But the truth of the matter is, he hangs Christians for apostasy.
No, well, that's not true, you see. And I'm not going to allow you away with falsehoods. The Christian church functions absolutely properly in the Islamic Republic of Iran, as does, and I hope you'll be honest enough to acknowledge that, the Jewish religion. The Jews in Iran are the largest and the longest established Jewish religious communities anywhere in the area. I hope you'll acknowledge that.
Well, I acknowledge that there's been great friendship between the Jewish people and the Iranian, Persian people for 2,000 years, since the great King Cyrus. There's no issue between the Jewish people and the Iranian people. There's been deep friendship. But however, Mr. Ahmadinejad is a Holocaust denier, and he's wishing the same thing on Israel.
No, he's not. I'm not allowing you away with that either. He, in no sense, wishes a Holocaust on the people in Israel. He wants an end to the political regime of Zionism. So do I. And I'm certainly not a Holocaust denier. And those who wished for an end to the Soviet system in the former USSR did not wish a Holocaust upon the people of the countries of the USSR. They did not wish the obliteration of those lands, those people, from the earth. They wished to see the end of the political system there. And those who wished to see an end to Nazi Germany did not wish to see an end to the German people or Germany as a land. They wished for a political change. And that's all Ahmadinejad wants in Israel, Brian.
No, I disagree with you. He's wished, and not only wished, he's made clear his intention to wipe Israel off the face of the...
But that's not true, Brian. And neither, even if it were true, would it be possible? Because Iran does not have the means, and Israel has already wiped a country off the map, and that country's called Palestine, Brian.
That's not true either, George, you see.
Well, where is it on the map, Brian?
Well, as far as the Palestinians, they've wiped Israel off the map, because when you see the maps of the Middle East, Israel doesn't exist.
No. Israel exists. It's a member of the United Nations. It's even an associate member of sorts of the European Union. It plays in the Eurovision Song Contest and in the European Football Championships, and it has hundreds of nuclear weapons and is a military superpower to ensure that it continues to exist. But Palestine does not exist, Brian.
Palestine does exist.
Well, show me a map where it exists.
Well, you know, as a great historian, George, and an exponent of the Palestinian cause, the area of Palestine includes the area of Israel, what is the West Bank, Jordan, parts of Syria.
But there's a country called Jordan in the world on the map in the United Nations, but there isn't a country called Palestine, as you know.
There never was a country called Palestine.
Ah, wasn't there? Well, it's very strange that you should say that, because there's a large frieze in the entrance hall to the British Parliament, which contains a very mighty, heroic, socialist, realist style depiction of a man they call Richard the Lionheart. And it's from 1189. And you know what it says on that frieze, Brian? That this is a picture of Richard Coeur de Lion on his way to the crusade in Palestine, and it's 1189, Brian.
Well, I agree with you, but Palestine was a name given to the Jewish
No, you can't say you agree with me, because you just 2 minutes ago said there never was a country called Palestine.
Yeah, you didn't let me finish what I was trying to say, with respect, George. There was never a country called Palestine, which was a Palestinian or Arab state. It was a Turkish state for many years.
Brian, there was a country called Palestine, and there now isn't a country called Palestine. Can we at least agree on that, Brian?
No, you're wrong. The only country that was called Palestine was the Jewish successor state.
Brian, we've agreed there was a country called Palestine. In 1189 there must have been, because that's what the freeze in Parliament says. But now, in 2008, there isn't a country called Palestine. But there is a country called Israel, which exists on the land that used to be called Palestine. So, ipso facto, the country that's been wiped off the map is not Israel or Iran, but Palestine. This is a matter of simple logic, Brian.
Not at all logic, George. It was a question of the Versailles Treaty in 1919. The Middle East was carved up amongst the host nations. The Jews who were living in Palestine and had done since the Roman occupation were accorded their place under the sun. The Arabs were given a number of 8 or 9 states. The Kurds were not given anything, and they had a grievance. But the Palestinians had all of Jordan, and they had the West Bank. Israel had a little bit of...
What, in the Treaty of Versailles? Brian, you've got your history a little awry here.
1919.
No, you've got your history just a little bit awry there, Brian.
It was 1919.
No, I think you're about 30 years out of date. And the fact that you are shows how your distorted prism through which you view your history has completely distorted your perspective.